Hey there, if you are currently living paycheck to paycheck in your travel business because you don't know where your next client is going to come from, you likely have one of two problems, maybe even both: a traffic problem and a conversion problem. You see, a traffic problem refers to the amount of people coming to your website to learn more about working with you, which means that the conversion problem is when your website isn't turning your website visitors into email subscribers, appointments, or paying clients. If you have a traffic and or conversion problem, your travel business is not going to survive. And that's not okay. And guess who is very much to blame? Your website. You see, a high converting website in the travel industry should be turning website visitors into paying clients with ease. If your website is not doing that, it is failing you. But there is a solution. Introducing Website in a Weekend, a transformative 2-day virtual workshop tailor-made for travel professionals just like you. Arrive with nothing, leave with a breathtaking, high-converting website. Yep, just in a weekend. You'll equip yourself with a crystal clear core message, a stunning visual brand, content crafted with high-converting frameworks, and so much more. Early bird alert! Sign up by September 20th and get your website copy written for you by my team. Plus, I will personally pick, pay for, and place premium images on your website. Dates, mark your calendar, October 27th and 28th. Y'all, October 28th is my wedding anniversary. Show up. I'll be there for you. It'll literally change your business. Still unsure? Just ask Lisa. She transformed her website from meh into magnificent, and she says it was worth every penny. My site now speaks to those that I want to work with. I highly recommend it. Or ask Patty, who says, all thanks to you and your team, Sandra, I get so many compliments and new clients. I'm actually having a hard time keeping up with all the new bookings. So why wait? Elevate your online presence, attract ideal clients, and say goodbye to your website woes. Ready to soar? Join Website in a Weekend and let's make magic together. Head over to travelmarketingandmedia.com/website to learn more and book your spot. That's travelmarketingandmedia.com/website. I'll see you there.
A few weeks ago, I learned a lot about targeting and retargeting ads. Now, even if you have never done ads before or you've done ads and not had any success, actually, this episode is even more for you. But if you're open to doing ads, then this episode is for you too. We literally have people in our community, so many of them, thousands of them, I would say, definitely hundreds, maybe thousands, that the only marketing tactic that they do is run ads on Facebook and Instagram. They don't even necessarily post on Facebook and Instagram. They just use it as an ad agency of sorts. They spend $5 a day, so $300 a month, and that is the only thing that they do. But they go to work on their full-time job or work in their travel business all day, don't even look at the ads, and at the end of the day, turn around and say, oh, gosh, there's 10, 20, 30, 40 new leads. Fantastic. Leads being email subscribers. So if you have run ads and not had any success, or you would like to learn more about running ads, specifically about targeting and retargeting, and if you would like to hear the one thing that I learned that made me drop my coffee cup, and it's about your website, about travel industry websites, stay listening. So I recently started this new coaching program for my business. So I signed up to an agency where I paid like $1,800 for the first month, and now I pay $800 a month. And I know you're like, hey, but honestly, coaching is really expensive. The coaching that I looked at from the type of people that resonate with me that I would like to learn from range between $1,000 a month and $15,000 a month. And my biggest fear is spending money on coaching that is not going to work. So for anyone that I am looking to learn from, I love to listen to their podcast so that I can get almost like a sample of what it would be like to work for them. And podcasting, as you know, from listening to me or to other podcasts, it's the kind of platform where you can tell if somebody's reading or not usually, um, or if they're speaking from knowledge, from heart and from brain. And to me, that's a really good way to know if somebody is authentic in their abilities and in their skills. So the coach that I picked after listening to 10 of her podcast episodes and then decided, yes, she is the person for me. So I signed up for the program and I go to my coaching sessions. They are group coaching sessions. So I submit questions and they answer them in front of a group. And I learn a lot from the other people's questions. And they really specialize in building an email list through running Facebook and Instagram ads. And so building my email list, as you would know, because that's what I coach you to do, is super critical in my business. And it's something that I'm uber focused on. So anyway, in my first month with them, I'm just going into my second month, but in my first month with them, I remember the moment that we started talking about targeting and retargeting. So I had an onboarding strategy session just for me, and that's why you pay higher in the first month. And they gave me, we kind of like looked at my marketing funnel, and then they gave me a PDF of what they thought my marketing funnel could be or should be. And now it's up to me to implement it. So I show up every month. There's 3 sessions a week, and I can use those to get feedback and guidance on the marketing funnel that I'm going to implement. And that could either be the funnel that they gave me or a variation of it. So I already had funnels in place for all of the different services that we provide: website in a weekend, all access pass, our new coaching and performance program. And I got some good ideas from it. But what I was looking for specifically was how to work with the email list that I already have, because it's one thing to continue building your email list, super critical, but it's another thing to make sure that you are serving and converting the email list that you have. So maybe in your business right now, you might have 100 or 200 email subscribers, and you're thinking, well, I need to build my email list. That, my friend, 100% true. But what is also 100% true is if you already have 100 email subscribers, you should also be highly focused on converting those email subscribers into traveling clients, paying clients. So in one of my first sessions, when we sat down and we were talking about targeted ads and retargeting, I was blown away by the different types of targeting that you could do. Now, I already knew a lot about targeting because I coach it, but like I said, I don't know everything, and learning more is critical for me. It's one of the ways that I'm a good coach to you, because I learn from my coaches and my, I guess, mentors and role models. But also, I don't have the type of business, the type of coaching business, as you know, where I'm in the weeds with ads management every day. So it's good for me to go to a coaching business where that's what they do, is they live and breathe ads. So we start talking about the different types of targeting and retargeting. And here are some examples of things that you may not know, that I knew some of them, and then others really started jogging my thought process. And then I had a huge aha moment. I literally dropped my cup. So I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. And it was about you. Okay, so a type of retargeting ad that you could do is you could run an ad on Facebook or Instagram where you say, show this ad to people who have already visited my website before. You could literally run an ad that people who have visited from your website before would be the audience. You could say, show my ad to people who follow me already or who have engaged with my Instagram or Facebook account. You could run an ad to people on your email list. So you can upload your email list and run an ad just to those people. You can run an ad excluding those people, which is something that I'm going to start focusing on because I built up this great email list. But my recent ads that I ran, I spent a ton of money and they were being shown to people who were already on my list because I need to take that one next step and exclude people who are already on my list so that I get new people. So you can run an ad to people who are already on your list. You can run an ad and tell Facebook, run it and to people who are just like the people on my list. So you don't even have to say who they like, what kind of things they're into. You would literally, and this is good if you have an email list where you know that they are highly engaged. So I would never pull my entire email list. I would pull my email list and I would segment out. I'd create a segment of people who have visited my website in the last 90 days, for example, or opened an email, or not just opened an email, but clicked in any email in the last 12 months, because those are people who, yeah, they're attached to me in some way or form already, aware of me, but them clicking on an email is very different to someone who's just on my email list. You know what I mean? So you could do that. You could run an ad to a defined audience. And I am obsessed with defining audiences. We're going to be doing a lot of work around this in our coaching and performance program, where you can say, for example, I was talking to a travel advisor yesterday, and we were talking about him running an ad to a targeted audience, a defined audience. And I want him to define the audience. He sells river cruises. So I want him to define the audience as people who have stayed at the Four Seasons, the Ritz, in one audience. And in a separate audience, I want him to run the ad to the competitor cruise lines. And then in a third audience, people who follow the competitor cruise lines. So say, for example, you want to sell a waterways, show that ad to everybody who has cruised with Viking. And then I want him to show the ad to everybody who has stayed, who has cruised with, everyone who follows the luxury cruise line brands. So maybe Regent, Silversea, Scenic, Celebrity, any of the big Cunard luxury ocean cruise brands, show the ad to them. Now, instead of putting all of those into one audience, I want him to separate them out into 3 separate audiences. So he can use exactly the same ad, but just separate it out into 3 so that he can see how they perform differently from each other. Because all of those 3 types of travel clients or potential travel clients would all be interested in, or at least has a high potential to be interested in river cruising. It might be because of the spend of travel that they do, the style of travel, the way that those brands serve them. So that's a defined audience. Now, here's the interesting bit. When you go to set up any of those types of ads, you could also do it on audience behavior. That's the last one I want to say. Anyone, for example, who has watched a video of yours, signed up for an event of yours, that kind of stuff. So when it comes to how to set up all those ads, I know you're thinking, well, that's amazing, but I don't know how to set those ads up. This is not that podcast. We do have that kind of support coming for you in the coaching and performance program. But what I wanted to share is that when it comes to setting up those ads, do you know what I realized? They said to me, we're going to have to embed little bits of code, snippets of code in all different places on your website so that your website can talk to Meta, Facebook and Instagram, and it can shoot information backwards and forwards, right? Do you remember in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory how they talked about how making TV, it breaks it up in the picture up into millions of little pieces and scatters it through the air into your TV? And it was like on such a basic level how television works and not technically 1,000% accurate anymore. But anyway, they the code that you need to input onto your website in all these different places on your website is not difficult. Like the ads coach literally shared their screen and they were like, you just get it from here, copy, paste, put it here. It really is super simple once you see how it works and you have a really good person guiding you. But here's the thing that I got off that coaching call, and I literally jumped onto Messenger with a friend who is in the travel coaching space. Go check out Glenda Beagle from The Art of Selling. She helps travel advisors to close more sales and deal with more objections. I jumped onto Messenger with Glenda and I was like, Glenda, I just dropped my cup. I finished drinking the coffee, thankfully, but I knocked my cup off the table because I had this huge, powerful thought. My thought was, and I said to her, all of these travel advisors that we love, that we work with, and we coach between us, those of them who have a website that is not theirs, it was given to them by their host agency or their consortia, they don't have the ability, 95% of them do not have the ability to embed those little bits of code to be able to run those types of ads. And in addition to that, I was able to identify a couple of the website builders that a lot of you use from inside the travel industry, where you pay like a monthly fee or it's given to you for free. Not only do you not have the ability to send that data backwards and forwards between Meta, Facebook and Instagram, and your website, you also don't have the ability to hook up to Google Analytics to know where your traffic is coming from, what pages they're landing on, where they're spending their time. But do you know what the worst bit is? Most of those websites can actually run retargeting ads to your traffic without you knowing about it, without your permission, because it's not needed because you don't own that website, they do. And they can run retargeting ads to your ideal client, to people who have visited your website on behalf of other people and organizations. So suppliers and tourism boards, or for their own benefit if they have a consumer-facing element to their business. That to me is super disturbing, because it essentially means that you have your place in the travel industry. This is your place, this is your website, this is your job, but that there's a whole lot of money being made in other ways by people other than you. So I'm not accusing anybody. I'm literally stating the facts for you, that if you do not have a website that was built on Squarespace or Wix or WordPress or any of those website builders that allow you to have 100% control over the data and the traffic. Now, of course, Wix and WordPress can see your data and traffic, and they have the rights to do it because you clicked allowing them. They're not running retargeting ads to sell travel to people who visit your website for other companies. They're not pulling data from your website for their own benefit. And again, like I said, not accusing any specific company of doing it, just explaining to you what they have access to, what they have the rights to based on the fact that it's their website that you are renting. You didn't build that website on your own. They built it for you. So if you want to easily, quickly build your email list full of people who want to do the kind of travel that you want to sell, ads is the very best way to do that. Retargeting ads is the very best way to do that, because everything is about the math and the science. Marketing is not an art. Marketing is a science. Marketing works every single time. Ads always work if you are targeting the right people with the right content. So if you did not build your website, or if someone did not build it for you, and if you did not have, in addition, as well as, not instead of, as well as, you do not have the ability to embed code into your website that will talk backwards and forwards to Meta, or maybe even Pinterest or LinkedIn or wherever you want to run ads to, then you need to stop and you need to get a website really quickly where you have control over your data. Okay? I want you to go check out Travel Marketing and Media. I want you to go check out Website in a Weekend. I'm going to link to it in the show notes. If you need a website, you can have a website in 2 days. We have done it for dozens and dozens and dozens of clients, probably close to 100 clients now, travel advisors who they tell us that they can't do copywriting, they can't do design, and they're not techie, come in on a Saturday morning, leave on a Sunday afternoon, and they have a breathtaking website that allows them, that perfectly positions them to be able to run targeted ads exactly to the type of client they want to spend. You could be working a full-time job and be bringing in traffic, leads. You could be building a list of leads. You could go to work in the morning, come home in the afternoon, and have 30 or 40 people on your email list that want to hear from you, that responded to something they saw of yours, gave you their email address, telephone number, and said, send me more information. Can you imagine that? Going to work and coming home and having that? That's what happens through targeted ads. And if you want to know more about how we can support you in this really focused journey of growing your email list and running targeting ads and closing more sales, then you definitely want to sign up for the coaching and performance program when that opens. So I hope that this has been a conversation starter for you in your own mind. What I want you to do is some homework. I want you to go to whoever gave you, sold you, or rents you your website. I want you to go to whoever gave you, sold you, or rents you your website. And I want you to say to them, hi, I'd like to do some retargeting ads. And I want to know one of two things. Number one, do you have access to my web traffic? Number two, and don't tell them why, just ask them, do you have access to my web traffic? Because that will tell you whether or not they have access to target them. Number two, can I set up Google Analytics with this website? Because at most of these websites, you cannot do that, so that you can have that data. And number three, can I embed code on this website, on specific pages of this website? We're not talking about just one piece of code. We're talking about specific pages, like when someone downloads your lead magnet, that you can run an ad to them. If someone watches a video on your website, you can run an ad to them. Ask them, can I input code? Can I paste code into my website so that I can run retargeting ads to my website traffic? I want you to ask those three things. Whoever built your site, rented your site, or sold you a site, I want you to ask them, can you do those things? Can I do those things? Is that possible? Okay. We're going to start a conversation over in our Facebook group about this. I'm super, super interested to hear all of your thoughts. I want you to also do one thing. Don't worry about who's going to set up your ads, how it's all going to work, how much it costs. We have people in our community running ads at $5 a day. That's $300 a month. And it is the only marketing that they do. The only marketing that they do. Once they get those leads in, then of course they have a podcast, or they do videos, or they have a blog or an article that goes out weekly. But imagine if $300 a month was the only marketing you had to do for your entire business. In 1 year, you're just going to spend $300 a month. You're just going to turn it on, and that's a business expense. But you don't care, because you are always getting new clients and new leads. So that how many bookings would you have to have that paid for it every single month? You know? Okay, love this episode. Come over to the Facebook group. Let's talk about this. I want to talk about this with you now. Come and post your comments or your thoughts. Have a look for the questions that we're going to be posting in there so that you can have your say about this and ask any questions about it as well. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.